Hundreds of thousands at a minimum, and even up to 2 million. That's how many people have taken to the streets in Istanbul in support of democracy and opposition frontrunner for the presidency, Ekrem İmamoğlu. The mayor of Istanbul was arrested on corruption charges a week ago, along with about 100 others. However, demonstrators contend that the charges are fabricated by President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. İmamoğlu is widely seen as the only candidate who can challenge Erdogan in the next elections. Erdogan has now been in power for 22 years, and joining me here to discuss where these protests are headed and what impact this will likely have on Turkey is director at the Polish Institute of International Affairs, Jarosław Ćwiek-Karpowicz. Hello, and thank you very much for coming in and joining us on World News Tonight.
Thank you for invitation. It's always good to be here.
Yes, now we see these protests going on, the largest in recent memory, the largest in at least a decade. Do you think, by the looks of it, is this spelling trouble for President Erdogan, or does Erdogan hold all the cards up his sleeve, if you will?
I mean, he's a president, for many years, and unfortunately, all previous protests, maybe not so numerous as nowadays, didn't enforce him to change the political course and just to be more liberal. Unfortunately, he also a few years ago eliminated his main opponent, and now with mayor of Istanbul, the situation is pretty much the same, that there is not a real opposition against Erdogan. And this is not good for Turkey, for Turkish society, for the state of democracy. It's not good for us, for Europeans, to have very good and important relations with a country which definitely is very far away from democratic standards. I think that what is important this particular time is that there was a chance a few months ago announced by the PKK leader that maybe the confrontation between the Kurds and Turkey, assuming the situation in Syria, may develop in a positive way in Turkey itself. And the President Erdogan position towards this openness of PKK to negotiate, to talk about some peace solution and to stop terrorist attacks was not so clear, his position. And now, for me, his step to be less democratic, more pro-authoritarian, and some Kurdish parties supported the mayor of Istanbul. It shows me that Erdogan is completely not interested in stable situation in the Turkey in terms of confrontation with Kurds. It seems that he wants to hold his power and use all the time also the Kurdish threat. And so he's playing two, let's say, games at the same time. Elimination of political opponent among Turkish politicians, and also showing that there is no possibility for talks with PKK.
With the consolidation of power that Erdogan has essentially achieved over his 22 years in power, where does this leave the person that's been jailed right now? I mean, these elections are going to happen in 2028. Why does Erdogan pull this move now and not wait till closer to the elections?
I mean, when you have elections so close, it's definitely more dangerous situation that the people, the supporters of opposition may just be more active and determined to be much more vocal and present on the streets. Now we have just a time to the elections, so he's just preparing, let's say, the table and just eliminating people who eventually may be a danger for him. But also what I mentioned before, I mean that maybe he's also trying to keep the Turkish-Kurdish tensions on the same level. It means that he's now so-called the Mr. Security, the person who present the Turkish society that, look, I mean, the Kurdish threat is serious, there are terrorist attacks, there's no way to talk with them, so I can only guarantee a relatively peaceful situation. But what I mentioned before, there was a chance that maybe there will be progress between PKK and Erdogan. And with this step, I think this is just the consequence, just to eliminate democratic opposition and also the Kurdish opposition.
And Erdogan has implicated Imamoglu in dealings with the PKK. Yeah. I'd like to switch gears here real quick because we are approaching the end of our interview. We have a couple minutes left. We saw U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance go to Greenland for about a 4-hour tour. It was supposed to be a trip, planned to have his wife go and tour and be welcomed into the homes of Greenlanders. They were supposed to attend a dog sled race that was supposed to give them some kind of public optics. But it really just turned into a 4-hour tour at a U.S. military base. What do you make after this trip there to Greenland? We see firm no from the Greenlanders, yet the U.S. press is on.
I mean, it's not the first time in the last few months when some public figures, public important persons from U.S., they are coming to Greenland. So it was first the information about the second wife, now the also vice president. Before there was Donald Trump's son. So there is definitely some intention of U.S. government to show that the Greenland is very important and we have to do something with the situation. Unfortunately, I mean, from my point of view, it serves only just for domestic U.S. audience, just to show Americans that we change, let's say, borders, we change the system, and we protect our interests in Greenland. In reality, the American interests in Greenland are completely safe. I mean, they have a military presence since many decades, and there is no problem to expand this military presence and have another soldiers, more soldiers and more equipment. There's no problem with that.
If they wanted to do it, they're perfectly able to do so.
Yeah. In terms of energy resources, I mean, Greenland is a vast area when the exploration of crude oil and natural gas is extremely difficult. Also for Canadians or for Russians who also have access to the high north, definitely, it's much easier to extract energy sources from let's say another area. So, and so far there is no production in Greenland, no real investment. So, of course, from let's say, I mean, from the point of view of Greenlanders and international relations, it's a very bad step because definitely it makes some tensions in Greenland with European alliance, with Denmark, and there is no significance, no real consequences, only some symbols which are very bad perceived by Europeans.
Okay, Jarosław Ćwiek-Karpowicz, director of the Polish Institute of International Affairs, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And that concludes this edition of World News Tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time. Good night.